Morning, it's Josh here from TV Property. We are at our first viewing. It's on with Taylor's. It's a 3-bedroom house that needs modernisation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a little video of how to do the perfect viewing. There are a few things that you're going to need to look at. You're going to need to look at the boiler system, the electrics. What I'll do is a bit of a walkthrough, show you all the things that we need to take into account and how I personally price that up, just to give you an idea of what you can do when you're doing viewing. Right, first thing we're going to look at porches, because sometimes the foundations aren't very good and they crack. So you'll have a look all the way around the edge of the porch. It looks pretty good. There is two couple of bits, but that's okay. One of the feet on the ruined flower carpet. So then we're going to come in and we're going to have a look at. Oh, would you look at that? So there's a bit of moving at the front of the property. Coming through into the lounge, we're going to check the state of the electrics. So the plug looks fairly new, so some work has been done, although this has obviously been lived in for quite a while. Different coloured wallpaper and paint, but that's okay, that's just as usual. And what we're going to do, we're going to come in at any bay windows, and we're just going to bounce up and down. Because if there's dry rot in the floor, it'll be bouncy.
So that's pretty solid.
Sounds pretty solid. The only thing is, the front of the house is falling off. So that requires major underpinning. Okay, which is why this property looks so attractive with the price. Okay, coming through, we're going to. So we've got a downstairs bathroom, which some of the Victorian stuff doesn't have. So this is a little bit later. Oh, I've got to take a picture of that toilet. That is going on Instagram. So going round, we're going to look at. Yeah, that's just marks from the cooker. We're going to look in all the corners because there's some more cracks there, so we actually know that the house is moving. Okay. The kitchen, people can get quotes for that. There's a bit of a utility room, which is normally the bit that sinks. To be fair, in this house it looks like the best part of the building, to be totally honest. So, the way we're going to quote every room is we're going to look at the ceiling, the floor, left, right, front, back. Everything we have to touch is 200 quid if you're doing it yourself. 200 quid, 200 quid, 200 quid, 200 quid, 200 quid, 200 quid. 1200 quid a room. Then you've got the price of the kitchen and the bathroom. That's how I use my calculator to give me an idea what the price is going to be for the refurb. It's not given, but that's just my rule of thumb for my calculations. Obviously add in the price of the carpet, the painting, that kind of stuff, but that gives you an overall guesstimation. Comparable, but we don't want to buy all in that house. It's not a deal, which does mean you people on YouTube are going to get to see this. Cool. So, just give you a little tip. When you come into a house, before we go in, you check the roof, check the ridge is straight, the walls are straight. Make sure that the windows haven't got any zigzag cracks in them because that's the weak point, they tend to break. When you come in, make sure like I said, like the porch. The other thing you want to check is the electrics, like check the fuse box because current regulations mean it has to be a metal fuse box. I guarantee this won't have one. It might even have bits of wire for fuses, which is what they used to have. Check the boiler and get quotes from people because those are going to be expensive bits. The rewire and the boiler is going to be a majority of the cost. The kitchen and the bathroom, it is going to be a cost, but not so much. So it's worth thinking about. I was hoping to find a water tank in there.
Might be downstairs.
Like a water tank. Look what I found.
You found it?
Yeah, but
okay.
For that.
Is it? It's not a combi borer, is it?
Nah,
it's going to be conventional.
Great big water tank.
Yeah.
which means rip out a whole new system.
What, the boiler? Take it completely out?
It's not the boiler, it's a water tank, which has got a heating element in it, and it just fills up massive amounts of water.
Okay.
It's the type that, you know, you run out of hot water.
Water, really easy, yeah.
So that's got to come out. There's no radiators anywhere. Have you noticed?
Oh yeah, there isn't.
No radiators. So that's, in fact, compared to some things, it's not a major issue because it's got structural problems. But we want to check the fuse box if we can find it. Maybe. Oh, there it is, right in front of us. Alright, job done. Well, good morning, Josh here, 2B Property. We've just done a little viewing on a house that, by the numbers, looks like a deal. So we've gone around, we spec'd it up, and I'll add the video a little bit later on, or maybe at the end of this clip, depending on how good the cameraman is at editing. What I was explaining, which might be useful to some of you guys out there watching this stuff, is how we talk to the vendors when we're looking around a property. So supposing we're in a house and they're looking to sell, and they know that the one next door sold for £300,000. So they're going to sell, what, £300,000, which is totally understandable. Why wouldn't you? Because next door sold for that. So if that's been on the market for quite a while, which is what we look for when we look for these kind of deals, it's been sat there. Obviously it's worth 300 because next door sold. The question is it worth 300 in its current condition? If it's been sat on the market, probably not, which is where we can add value to the deal. So if I'm going to talk to a vendor, we'll walk around the house and we'll say, okay, how much do we think a new kitchen is? Because let's be honest, we need a new kitchen. The reason we get to that conversation is because we would say, what does next door's kitchen look like? For a £300,000 house, what would someone expect for a kitchen? So as we have a look at those, so we have a look at that kitchen, and of course it's going to be miles better. So we're then going to go, how much would it cost us to put a new kitchen into this deal? Into the house, we wouldn't say deal. And I let the vendor decide how much that is. And what we'll do is we'll literally walk around the house. How much is a new kitchen? How much is a new bathroom? How much to repair the electrics? How much to replace the boiler if it needs it? How much for carpet? And they will come up with a estimation of the works. Now, as a trade, I can get this a lot cheaper than the average person on the street. So they tend to be quite a few £1,000s over what I can do, which helps the numbers a little bit in my favour. And then what we do is, okay, so what do you need to move on? Now, can I refurb the property and give them enough that they're happy? Because we've had a conversation and they know that the property can be worth 300. They actually know deep down that you need to refurbish it in order to be able to get that 300, but they probably don't have the money. So we can come in, either buy it, refurbish it and sell it if they're prepared to take a bit of a reduction on the price. If they're not, then what we can do is we can do an assisted sale. So they know, because they've come up with the numbers, how much the property is worth, and then we can say we'll exchange contracts, which means we will buy it. We then want access to the property. I will come in and complete the refurbishment. It's then worth £300,000. Now, the price that we've agreed, plus my refurb cost, should be about £10,000 to £15,000 less than what the property should sell for. And in our contract, they would get the price they've agreed. I would get them the refurb cost money back, plus the difference between the two prices that I've generated by refurbing the property. If they are happy with this, it's win because they get to move on with their life, because if the property's been on the market for a long time, people do get frustrated. They've got enough money that they're happy, otherwise they just won't do the deal. I don't have to necessarily buy the property. I can step out and one of my investors can come in and buy the property as a ready-made buy-to-let. So it's a win-win-win. The estate agent still gets paid if it's on for an estate agent, because part of the deal is we pay the agent. But because I'm doing the work, I will pay the agent upon exchange as opposed to completion. I then have the ability to put it back with the same agent, beautifully done, for them to sell it again, and if they're lucky, they might get paid twice. So actually it's a win-win-win-win. That's assisted sales for you. A quick overview, hope that was useful. If it was really, there is a little bungalow, we're going to go inside and have a look around. A friend of mine called Emily bought this, and her business partner James. This is worth about 300 grand. In fact, it's actually sold at 300 grand before the work's been completed, which is fantastic. Hopefully you can hear me, it is a little bit Purchased for 225, worth 300, with a fairly decent refurb. But come inside and have a look.
What is that?
Awesome. Just love ordering into other people's projects. It's much better than your own. Nice kitchen going in. So it looks like a massive wreck, but actually it's not that much to do. It just looks messy because there's no paint, no flooring there. Kitchen's really nice, really nice. Nice and done. Don't trip up. Awesome stuff. Keep door, buyer wants it. Okay. That is the bifold doors that will be here. Look at that lovely thing. Emily is very proud. She built that herself. She's
Person.
yeah, her person. A little garden garage on the side, which was kind of nice. That looks the best part of a bathroom, or maybe a wet room bathroom. The smallest front bedroom. Nice, nice.
Decent space as well.
Good. So that is 1, 2 bedroom, lounge, kitchen, bathroom. Very nice, very nice. Let's see the last one. Right, so for those of you that don't know about construction, this is the block work that is currently holding the window. All of that's going to be removed because those are the bifold doors that are coming in. But these are the ties that tie the brickwork that sits here to the block work, and that keeps them together and stops them sort of falling apart. Now on the right hand side here, this is your brickwork, that's your insulation gap, so there'll be a gap between two, and then your block work, and obviously these ties tie them together. So that's the basic construction. Obviously the whole lot's going in, there's some lovely doors will be going in with some support up there, and that'll be the nice opening big doors that everyone enjoys.